Hello everyone, and this is Phoenix here, and you're watching this on Xanadu Castle, and it's been a hot minute since I've uploaded on this channel. I've just been really busy with a lot of other things, and of course another thing too is that it's been really hard for me to get motivated to do book content because, unlike a lot of people out there, because I'm still, new into reading, I don't have a lot of, material to pick from when it comes to, doing, book discussions and, book reviews and such. And also, speaking of book reviews, I feel like book reviews are really hard for me to do because, I don't like giving away, too much of a plot, and, because, whenever I do reviews on video games, on my main channel, then when I talk about the story, usually the story is, the spot that I usually, don't go too much into, because, I understand that, that a lot of people want to go, when they want to get into a game that has, a big epic story, they don't want to know, too much about it. I try to do them spoiler-free as much as possible, so, yeah. So anyways, though, yeah. With all that said, so today we're just gonna be doing, the easiest content ever, which is, book hauls, or book pickups, whatever you want to call them there. And, I have fun doing this kind of stuff. It's been a while since I've done one in a bit, so yeah, let's just talk about some books I picked up, and we'll just have some fun with it. Alright, so first up, we're going to be talking about some paperback books that I picked up, and this one right here is A Choice of Gods by Clifford D. Simak, or Clifford Simak, we'll just say. And yeah, so obviously I picked this one up because not only is Clifford Simak an author that I'm curious about reading, but also the cover art is really cool. I really like that one. And what this story was about was also sounded pretty interesting. It kind of reminded me of The Stand, in the sense that it's a post-apocalyptic story where there's barely anyone left on the earth. But the big twist with this one that makes it different than that is that apparently, the people that are left, now, they're, immortal, or I don't know if they're, immortal, or if they're, they just have the ability to live forever, kind of thing. And then there's also some other crazy stuff, too. So, yeah, I'm really curious about checking this one out. I'll probably read this one pretty soon, as it's short. And next up we got is an author that I'm actually really excited I found something from, because it's a guy that I've always wanted to read from, and that is, John D. MacDonald. We got 3 of his books here. So we got A Bright Orange for the Shroud. I mean, it's an okay cover. I mean, they actually all do match, which is kind of nice. And then there's The Fearful Yellow Eyes. Cover's pretty plain on that one. And then this is actually one where I actually do kind of like the cover, and that is A Tan and Sandy Silence. Yeah, like I said, I really like that image. I think that's actually kind of nice looking. But, yeah, unfortunately, I don't know the exact plot lines of each of these books, but obviously it's a part of the Travis McGee series, and I have heard that, you don't have to read them in order. You can literally jump in, any random one, and you can still enjoy it, which is fine, and I like that. And, yeah, no, so, John D. MacDonald's one of those authors that I've heard a lot of really great things about, and I think I would definitely like him, as I know he is one of the many guys that influenced Stephen King, which is awesome. And, yeah, no, they just seem like just little fun little adventure mystery stories that are, not long. So, yeah, like I said, I think I'm going to enjoy these whenever I do get to them. And next one we have here is a science fiction author, another one that I've always wanted to get into, and I, almost never see his stuff. So the fact that I saw, a couple of them, I was like, wow, that's a shock. And that happens to be... We got some Jack Vance books. So we got, The 5 Gold Bands, which pretty cool cover on this one. And then we got Showboat World. This cover I really love a lot, actually. This is a really awesome cover. And yeah, that's from DAW, which I know is was a big publisher for science fiction back then. And yeah, like I said, they always have really cool covers. But one thing I do know about the 5 Gold Bands is that I believe this is actually the very first story that he ever published. I don't know if it's the first one he ever wrote, but it's the first one that got published, I think. And yeah, it sounds pretty interesting. And Showboat World, I believe this is a series of 2, and of course, this is part 2, so of course I gotta go out and get the first one eventually, but, I do have it, so, yeah, anyways, so, yeah, no, these books just seemed really, really cool. Like I said, he's an author that I've always wanted to read. I know, obviously, there's Dying Earth, and then there's, I think there's one called like Blue World or something like that, or like Water World. I don't think it's related to the Kevin Costner movie, but but it's like something with like blue and water in it and world or something. It sounded really cool. And then there's also that like high fantasy one that he did. It starts with an L. I forget the name of it, but I know it has like a really like gorgeous cover art. And the next one we got is The Island by Peter Benchley, and yeah, this is another one that I thought the cover was really cool, and also I love the font with like the shiny blue on there. I always thought that just looked really awesome, and the condition of this is actually really nice considering how old it is. But yeah, no, so yeah, so this is, you know, Peter Benchley's the guy that did Jaws. He also did The Deep, as shown on the back here, so that's kind of nice. I need to actually get those books too. But, yeah, no, this is definitely one of them that I definitely do want to read soon. In fact, I actually did thought about reading it this summer, so I probably will, yeah, I'll probably do it up next, actually, yeah. Yeah, screw it, I'll make this my next read. Okay, so the last one out of the paperbacks that I gotten, so this one is, The Ring, with its crazy cover that, I don't know how well you can see it through the camera there, but yeah, it's like it's very stripy looking. But yeah, so this is actually related to the movie The Ring, you know, the girl that comes out of the TV after like 7 days of the you know, when you watch the movie there. Yeah, this is the book that those movies are based after. Yeah, it's by Koji Suzuki. Okay, I want to make sure I got that right. But yeah, no, so those movies are pretty cool. I've always liked them. I still think they are creepy a little bit. Like, yeah, I know, like, obviously, like, not many people use VHSs anymore, but I still think the idea of them was still creepy, though. And just to be able to have the original book for it, I just thought it was cool. It was definitely a really good random find, because I was not expecting to find this just, like, out of the blue. Alright, next, we're going to be talking about some hardcover books that I picked up. And this one right here is actually a really nice-looking one, and that is, The Great Gatsby, which is a you know, very classic book. I don't really need to talk much about it, but this version is super beautiful looking. Like, look at that. Like, I love all the colors. It even has like gold edges too. It's really nice looking, and even like the back is like really good. It also like feels like bumpy too. Like when you feel like the castle here, like you really feel it. It's really cool looking. And I also have Frankenstein in addition that looks similar to this. Unfortunately, there's no Dracula version. I would have loved that though, but you know, as again, like it's another classic book that I feel like I should check out at some point, and you know, why not get this really beautiful version too? And next up, we got another classic book. Although this one is actually not a new book for me; it's actually an upgrade, and that is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Yeah, I got a hardcover of this one. It's a book club edition, obviously. It's not like a first edition or anything crazy like that. But, you know, but for a book club edition that I found at a thrift store, pretty good condition, all things considering. It even has, like, deckled edges and such. But, yeah, no, I had, like, an original, like, small paperback version that was, like, kind of beaten up on the side. But, yeah, so I got an upgrade version, so, you know, that's really nice. And the next one here is a book that I was actually so shocked that I found, because it's one of those books that I wasn't expecting to find anytime soon, especially in hardcover, and that is, Robert McCammon with Usher's Passing, with this really awesome pumpkin cover with the castle inside. I think that's just really badass looking. Even the paperback version that I've seen before with the skull pumpkin carved look to it, like, also looked really awesome too. But yeah, so this is a book that I wish I could remember what it was about, because it's been a hot minute since I've like really looked into it, but it's been on my radar for a while, and I actually almost thought about buying it online like a few times, but I ended up like not doing it because the shipping would have cost like more than the book itself, and I'm just like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. So I'm glad I actually found it eventually. Like, glad I waited. I was like patient about it. But anyways, though, yes. So I'm glad I finally own this now, and it's actually in pretty good shape. Only thing that's wrong is just, well, I don't know how well you can tell, but like this part here is like a little bit not great. But you know, I'll probably put a Mylar thing over it and it'll be fine. But, yeah, no, I'll definitely gonna try and make an effort to read this in October. I think that would be perfect. So, next one we got here is, Intensity by Dean Koontz with this really intense cover with these different colors, it's like bam, like it's so bright. But yeah, so this is a book club edition, so it's smaller, but I don't mind because given how much I paid for this, like I wasn't gonna say no because I've seen so many copies of this that were like really beaten to shit and they wanted like $20 for it, and I'm just like, nah, I'm good. But yeah, no, so I got this for like $2 at a thrift store. I was like, well, I'm taking that too. But yeah, no, so this is one of those Dean Koontz books that is another one that I've always been interested in because I think the idea sounds really awesome and creepy. Like, from what I remember, I think it's about this, this girl, she's, like, in a car, and then there's someone that, like, steals the car, but he doesn't know that she's in the back or something. It's, like, some, like, weird, crazy thing like that, and it just sounds really, like, awesome. As what the name suggests, it sounds intense. Oh, right. Next one we got here is, oh, I got another, Stephen King book that I never owned until now, and that is, Blaze, and this is actually a Richard Bachman book. I believe this is actually the last book that he put out under that pen name. And yes, from what I remember, this book was about a guy kidnaps someone's kid, and then he like tries to get someone else to try to like go through this whole like cat and mouse game to get them back or something. It's a tribute to Mice and Men, so, you know, it's very similar to that, and that's a book I've never read, but I do know, like, the basic story of it, and, yeah, no, it just sounded really interesting, and like I said, it was one of the few that I didn't have, and when I saw it for as cheap as it was, I was like, oh, you know what, I might as well get that. I mean, I don't see this book around too often. Now, this next one here is one that I actually bought a couple months ago, but I forgot to show it off in, like, one of my older ones, so, yeah, so I've had it for a while now. I still haven't read it, and that is Cybernetic Samurai from Victor Millan, whatever. So, you know, I just realized, like, most of the books that I've gotten all have, like, orange on them. Like this is, like, really orange. Blaze has, like, the orange, like font, and then, you know, Intensity has a lot of orange, and then Usher's Passing had a pumpkin, which was orange. Like, I don't know, just something weird I noticed. But anyways, though, yeah, so, obviously, I saw the name, I thought the name sounded cool as shit, and then I saw the cover, and it was also kind of cool as shit, too. I don't know, I actually really like it. I think it's cool. It's like a samurai helmet with the computer in it. I don't know, I thought it was interesting. And, yeah, no, and also from what I remember what it was about, it also sounded cool. It sounded like something I could like. It was basically about an alternate, like, history where if, like, Japan was, like, in the future and, you know, apparently, like, they got their way in World War II or something. Something like that. But, you know, obviously, as you can tell, I don't, like, look up too much things, like, when I go into buying a book or when I talk about it on here. I really should, though, but, you know, like, what's the fun in that, you know? Like, I just like trying to, like, offhand everything. But either way, though, like, this is one that definitely does sound, like, really, really cool. Alright, as for the last hardcover book that I got, and this one right here is from an author that has put out a ton of books, never read any of them, and this is actually the first one I ever bought. And that is Lee Child with Blue Moon, and this is his Jack Reacher series. And yeah, as you can tell, like, these spines are very iconic. Like, every time you see something of this, you're like, oh yeah, you know who that is. But, yeah, so, from what I know is that he's basically a military dude. He's, like, super tall. And, yeah, and he tends to get shit done. I mean, that's literally all I really know about them. But, you know, it's another thing that I've wanted to try, because, you know, I like trying new things, and, you know, he's an author that a lot of people seem to like, and from every time I look into it, I'm like, you know, like, I'll try a couple of these. I don't know if I'm going to read all of them, but I'll try a couple of them. So, yeah, I found this, it was in nice condition, and I was like, yeah, I'll take it. Alright, now we're going to be moving on to the manga section, and the manga stuff, I don't have a whole lot here, so, you know, it's not going to be too long to get through. But this first one right here is one that I don't remember if I talked about in the last book haul video I did, and, well, if I did, well, oh well, I guess I'll talk about it again. And that is Junji Ito with No Longer Human, and also I just realized the font on this one's also orange, so the orange theme still continues to the manga section. But yeah, so so this is a story that Junji Ito didn't actually write. The original story was written by oh god, I know his name starts with an O, but yeah, so it was written by him, and then he basically did a manga adaptation of it. And I think that's going to be really, really interesting to experience it that way. Though I would like to read the original novel too, just, you know, just because. But yeah, no, but this one has a cool cover. Like, I like the fact that there's like a little cutaway. Like, was it a die cut? Whatever. Yeah, I do think that's cool, because I feel like we don't really see stuff like that very often anymore, especially in manga. Alright, next one we got here is a really tiny one, and that is Eden of Witches. Pretty cool cover. That's kind of what got me interested in wanting to buy this, was because I really like the art style, the cover, and all that. But yeah, I didn't realize this book was going to be this small. Like, it's like really, really tiny compared to like everything else I own. And also, it's one of the few manga books that actually has like a dust jacket, which is also something you don't see really often. But yeah, I haven't read this yet, but it did look really cool. I know there's a couple volumes out now, but yeah, no, hopefully soon I'll see what it's all about, though. But yeah, like I said, it was very pretty looking, so I figured I might as well give it a try. Alright, now this next one was one that I was actually kind of surprised we actually got a reprint of it, because it's pretty old, and it's also one that was considered like really expensive for a while, but now you can easily get them all. And that is Red River. So this is actually they're reprinting these in like 3-in-1s, so so you got like the first 3 volumes in here, which is nice. And yeah, so this is a 90s manga, so obviously if there is something made in the 90s, there's a good chance I'm gonna love the way it looks, because I love 90s anime and manga, so yeah, I'm excited for that. And from what I remember what this is about, is that it's about this girl who transports to another world, and the world that she transports to is like kind of like an Arabian setting and all this kind of stuff. And like, I know like the whole like transport another world thing, for those that don't know, it's called an ikasai, and a lot of that stuff I tend to just not be into, just because I feel like it's so overdone now. But this came out at a time when that shit was like not overdone, so you know. And also it doesn't seem to be like a harem type thing, so you know, I think I will definitely like this for sure. Alright, and now we got I finally found volume 1 of one of my favorites that I was actually missing, and that is Vampire Hunter D. Yes, the Vampire Hunter D manga. I actually was missing volume 1 for like a long time, and I finally found one. I was like, goddamn. And yeah, so, you know, obviously, I've talked about this quite often, but yes, Vampire Hunter D is like one of my all-time favorites. I love the main character, I love the setting, I love basically everything about it, and this first volume is pretty much an the first movie that came out in the 80s is an adaptation of this version, so you know, so basically Volume 1 and Volume 3 are the only ones that got made into movies, which most people are familiar with. And, yeah, you know, like I said, I'm glad to finally have this one, and, I think the only other one I'm missing is 6 and 7. I don't think we got the 8th one over here, unfortunately, but, I don't know. Maybe one of these days we'll get, like, a reprint of it or something. Maybe it might happen. Alright, last one that we got here is 3 volumes that I picked up. So this is a newer one that I haven't read yet, but I looked at it, I looked into it, and I was like, oh, this sounds kind of neat. Sounds a little refreshing from something I normally would check out. And that is Trillium Game. And as you can tell with these covers, they go black and white, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I'll show you the covers, as the covers are pretty nice. So yeah, so this is volume 1. And then, yeah, they kind of have like a card look to them. Yeah, this is volume 2. Yeah, like I said, it looks like playing cards, which I like. I think that's just really cool. Like, not only do I love the whole chess aesthetic, but I also like the card aesthetic too. I always thought it was kind of nice. And then this one's funny. So volume 3 has frickin' Johnny Depp on the cover. Like, no joke, like, how could you not see that that's Johnny Depp on there? But, yeah, no, it's fucking awesome. So, yeah, so now I'll just leave him up on the screen there. But, yes, so From what I remember, what this one's about is it's about these guys that are like that they're trying to get rich, and they eventually like find a way to get rich, and then yeah, that's really all I really know about it. But it sounded really interesting though. Like I said, like it sounded like something like different, like something unique from all this other stuff that I usually read. So I'm kind of curious to see what this one's about. I have heard some people compared the series to what's that gambling anime? I can never remember the name. Is it Kaijin or Kaiji or something? It's the one. It's that one that where everyone has like the pointy nose. You know, it's like a gambling one. It's kind of similar to that from what I've heard, or at least it has like a similar like idea or setting or something. But yeah, no, like I said, it sounds really interesting. I'll definitely give it a try soon. Alright, so that is literally all the different books and manga that I picked up throughout, well, whenever I did the last one. Well, the last couple months, yeah, so that's all I got, and yeah. So, like I said, I think the next book I will read out of this will probably be The Island, more than likely, because, you know, it's summertime, and that definitely seems like a summertime book, so I think I'm gonna like that one. But yes, when it comes to newer updates of other things, I mean, I don't know, maybe I might do another, like, little update video like I did last time. I might do another one of those, but anyways, also my battery's about to die right now, so I'm going to end it here. So thanks for watching and commenting, and have yourselves a great day.